Hello, this is the day after series. This is actually the third appointment of continuing the filling process of the upper legs. This time we started the fill-in of the inside of the right leg. Now, this is well, it was a different spot. The outside leg versus the outside leg, it was kind of the same spot. The similarities were very much the same. Now, when we moved into the inner side of the upper leg, that's when everything changed. I was able to, with the outer legs, I was able to sit fine and not fidget too much, and everything was good and dandy. I was just relaxing and hanging out with the artist the whole time. The inner side, completely the opposite. Completely. It was, I have to put this as one of my top most painful. The whole procedure, the whole 3 hours from when he started to when he finished, to 3 hours, the whole procedure was incredibly painful. And I didn't expect that going in. I did not expect that. But the pain is tremendous. Even, of course, during the first day of the healing process. After it's swelled up, now your body is trying to accumulate with the healing of the new tattoo, struggling to stay strong during this process, and I feel it. I definitely feel it. It's hard to walk. It's hard to sit. It's hard to stand. I'm in a lot of pain right now just trying to stand. I'm obviously putting more of my weight on my left leg, but the tingling sensation in this leg hasn't stopped. And it was really prominent when the drive home. So let's start from the beginning real quick. The procedure, yes, the procedure was 3 hours of straight pain. That was not very fun to endure. A good thing was, though, I was in high spirits the whole time. And I was just having a good time, even though it was 3 hours of pain that I've never experienced in any of my other tattoos. Most of my other tattoos are, some spots are bad, most of the time it's okay. Sometimes it's excruciating, like my heel. But this time, every single spot on this inner upper thigh was just agonizing, and it was not fun. So by the end of it, sitting laying in the chair for 3 hours, that doesn't help either. But immediately once I stood up after he did the last wipe down with the layer of ointment, I stood up. I felt incredibly better already just because I moved. I was able to move. And he wrapped my leg, and then I felt more secure. Then I got my stuff and I went home. Now the ride home, if you remember last time I told you about the different stages, let's just say that with this particular piece, we didn't start at stage 1. We started at stage 5 or 6 with the amount of pain. It just, as soon as I sat down in the car, the pain was just all the way up there. And you can imagine that the ride home was just continuing in those last few painful stages. Still, it took until the last hour before I was like really wanting to get out of the car and get this bandage off. One thing I didn't tell you all is that the fact that it doesn't take me an hour to drive home. It takes me an hour and a half to drive home. So just knowing that, yes, I have actually an extra half an hour of extreme wanting to get this bandage off, extreme pain and frustration with the amount of pressure that's on my leg at the time. So you can imagine how much more relieved I am when I finally get out of the car, get into my place, and be able to take it off. Now, just like usual, as soon as I took it off, I was fine. And then I was so out of energy. My energy was so low, I just rehydrated and basically just passed out. And in the morning, sleeping. Sleeping was... sleeping was horrendous. It was... I could only lay on my back. I could not lay on my side because it would be something would be rubbing against the tattoo or touching it. The worst spot, you can't really see, it's underneath the loincloth right now. The worst spot is right at the top when the leg meets the pelvis. That is the worst spot because I have my pelvis skin and my genitals rubbing against that tattooed area. It is the worst spot right now, just because it's in constant contact with another part of my body. So I'm trying to be as widespread legged as I can to try to avoid a lot of that contact, but still, the pain is just tremendous right now. And there's nothing I can do about it except endure it and get through it, because like I said, I can't sit, I can't stand, I can't do anything. And so sleeping was incredibly difficult. I was on my back for most of it. I was able to shift around a tiny bit on my back, just to try to get a little bit of different positioning, to try to, if you lay your back for too long in the same position, at least for me, it's just very fidgety. And I can't. I have to move a little bit until I finally fall asleep. So I was able to do that. The one thing that I thought really helped was when I took my left leg and just brought it up and crossed it like that, laying on my back like that. That felt really good, just to have some kind of different positioning. And I was able to fall asleep with that. But that didn't help the fact that every time I moved a tiny inch, a spike of pain went shooting up through my body for that one spot right where the leg meets the pelvis. Horrible spot. I even woke up at like 3 a.m. and then I was like, God, crap, now I'm awake again. So I went to the bathroom and then I went laid back again. I was actually not even sure what I wanted to do because it was so difficult trying to sleep. I woke up at 3 a.m. and I just walked around. I was like, what am I supposed to do? It's so hard to sleep. But eventually I was like, well, I'm not going to just waste this time that I should be sleeping to try to build up more of my energy for the next day. So I laid back down and tried to get back to sleep. Eventually I did go back to sleep for a little bit, then I woke up again, a few hours later, and now I'm awake. So sleeping was horrendous. It was horrible. Everything about this thing is pretty bad. But that's not to say that I'm not enjoying the experience. Sure, I keep talking about how painful it is and how uncomfortable it is, but this is what I do. This is my goal, my journey in life, and I'm still enjoying every moment of it. It's a challenge, and that's what I love about tattoos in general, is the challenge. Now, especially for me, when you're talking about giant frickin' pieces of black, solid black. People get tattoos that take hours and hours and hours, but it's a lot of stop go with all the colors and details that they're putting in. Mine is just, you start and you don't stop for 3 hours, solid black, and it's so much of a different experience for this. But it's insane. It's incredible on how much we can actually get done in 3 hours. Even though this is only the third appointment out of, we're going to need 6 to 7 appointments to finish all of the upper leg parts, because I got these really thick pieces, and oh boy do I love these pieces. My legs are looking fantastic, and I'm very excited to keep continuing this process, and you'll be with me there as we go along. So that's it for now, and thank you for watching.